Okay, today we're going to be disassembling a version 2 gearbox and installing a garter bore-up kit while we're doing so. So let's get started. You want to start off by removing your screws along the outside of the gearbox. Mine happen to be Allen screws, yours probably are Phillips. And once you get this done, you'll probably want to take a screwdriver or an Allen key just to stick inside your spring guide to hold the spring in while you pull apart the shell. And then you pry the shell apart gently. Be careful and watch where things go in case things pop out. Hopefully you won't have to. Then you grab a hold of the cylinder and you release the spring. Set it off to the side. And you can go ahead and take out the cylinder, the piston. Set them out of the way since we're going to be replacing them. Make sure you keep up with your springs for your tappet plate and your shims. Now you want to go ahead and take your piston head off. You're going to be using the same piston. I was unaware, but mine's actually a torque screw. Okay, I've grabbed it now. Set that screw off to the side once you get it out, along with the piston head. You won't be reusing those. You can go ahead and take your new piston head, take the screw out of it, and install it on your piston. This is a ball bearing piston head by Garter. Only problem with these is they're kind of hard to get in there. Slide the piston over top of your screwdriver. Put that sucker right back on. And while you have that, you might want to go ahead and take your cylinder and cylinder head and test your compression to see if your O-ring needs to be stretched or not. It's always a good idea to lube it up. Dry rubber on metal isn't always the best. You just need to close off your cylinder head. Put it all in there. Looks like I have pretty decent compression. It's slipping some. Let's just go ahead and stretch it. You don't want to take your O-ring off your piston head. And now we're going to slide it over this cylinder. It's a good way to fit your O-ring to a piston head. You're going to want to take a lighter and gently heat it. You do not want to melt or burn it. Just get it nice and warm. Evenly all the way around. Then we'll slide it back off and put it back on our piston head and test our compression again. It's not sliding as much this time. It's holding a lot better. Now we'll slide our air nozzle on and make sure that it's getting compression and not leaking as well. Oil it up as well. The O-ring has popped out a little. And there we go. Now we'll test our compression again. There's not much air leak. There's always going to be some expected. Now we'll install it back into the gearbox. With this upgrade, I hope to get my gun around 400 FPS with a 2.5, and I'm only running about a M90 spring. And we're also going to be replacing the spring guide while we're doing all this. The one that came with my gun is just plastic. I'll be putting a modify ball bearing in there. Nice stainless steel, complete. Slide that in there. You'll want to take your Allen key or whatever you used and hold your spring guide down while you put the top of the gearbox back on. And then you'll want to take something to line everything back up. Those gears don't always like to go back into the holes. Now it's time to put those screws back in. When tightening these back down, there's no need to go more than just a little snug, because they definitely will sit in there, and next time you need to take it apart, you don't want it to be too hard. And there you go. You have now successfully installed a board-up kit in your version 2 gearbox.